Hetapu, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, Haroon Nefer. This is Qesankh with another exciting video for you. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the Egyptian goddess Maat and living in balance. But before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. This is your first time to my channel. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. Also, I have free ebooks for you that will expand more on my spiritual teachings and really get down that rabbit hole. But if you want to go to the next level and beyond, you could become a Patreon supporter. As a supporter, you'll get exclusive access to instructional videos on the esoteric, videos that teach you how to meditate, proper breathing exercises, different mantras to use, how to do self-hypnosis. And if you're on a Sarah level contributor, you'll get all your oracle readings for free and you'll get to talk to me. That would be awesome. So become a Patreon supporter. You can do so for as little as $1, $5, or $20 per month. You can cancel at any time. Last but not least, share this video with family and friends so we can get the revolution started. Hey, Haroon Nefer, how are you? So I came in today and I'm looking at my candles. I'm like, why are they like that? It's like they're not burning as bright as they were. So of course I had to do a reading to find out what was the deal, because it's very disturbing to see that, because it's not as if one is doing that, it's all four of them. I got more candles over there, but all four of them are doing that. And it's like freaking me out, man. I'm a little upset today. I had a little incident. So let me tell you the deal here, all right? I want to go skydiving, okay? So I have to ask my ladies if they want to go skydiving. And they're like, no, hell no, all right? So I asked another potential friend, and she wanted to go skydiving. She was like, no. I'm like, what is with these women? Why do they want to go skydiving? Don't they have any balls? I'm like, well, yeah, actually they don't. But then the one girl I asked, she threw me for a trip. She's funny. She made me laugh. She says, well, is there an instructor when we go? I go, yeah, you get like, we each get an instructor, and they kind of attach you to the instructor when they jump. She goes, well, is he going to be cute? And I'm like, I'm cute. That's all you need to worry about, that. You know? So I'm like, damn you, the heck with you. But I'm just like, I was really, you know, I let my person get upset. I was like, where are all the cool girls who like, I used to know some really cool girls who would do some dangerous stuff. They'd be like, Qesankh, let's go over Niagara Falls in the barrel. I'd be like, yeah, that's kind of crazy. No. No, I literally knew girls that would do like seriously crazy stuff. And now I turned into that person. Now I understand how upset they are. You know, I'm trying to get, you know, and then I'm like, one of the girls I said, well, let's go for a helicopter ride around the city. She's like, helicopter? Oh, I'm like, what is it with this new generation? There's no fun. No fun at all, you know? I remember when I was doing the commercial for Hotel Casino, the Circa Hotel and Casino, the owner, we were talking, and I said, well, what would you like in the commercial? Because we had pitched this idea of him in the desert driving a car. He goes, I want to be in a helicopter and I want to fly over my hotel and land on a roof. I'm like, yeah, it means I get to hold the camera up there or something. But this is no people who are dangerous, who want to live on the edge, man. You know, and that's not even like scary to me. Like skydiving, you got to do a lot more stuff than that. Like when I used to seek out like the most dangerous or the scariest roller coasters in the world, right? I love like scary roller coasters. You know, I remember where did I go? Florida or someplace, and I was with this one girl, and it was a really scary roller coaster. We got up there, and it's like they take you up and then they drop you, right? And when I was going up, I was saying to myself, Lord, why did I agree to do this? This is some craziness, because you can look down and see how high you are. But when that sucker dropped, I was like, yeah, yeah. And we got off, and I was like, again. She was like, hell no, I almost threw up. I was like, no, that was freaking awesome. Let's do it again. So I always kind of try to look like I'm always perusing YouTube trying to find like crazy dangerous roller coasters. I love it, you know. And I always say like if you're gonna come with me and you're scared, just close your eyes. You won't see anything. You'll probably just experience things, you know. But you know what I don't like is going to some backwards country like you see in Jason or like what do they call that? Jason or Friday 13th, and you go to some weird wooded area and they have a roller coaster there that looks dangerous, made out of like rotting wood. That I won't do. That I will not do. No. I'm not crazy. And I did that once. There was a place that me and my girlfriend at the time, Tara, we went, and this place was looked really shoddy. Got on the roller coaster and it was scary. And it was only scary because it just didn't look safe. And I was like, why did we do that? You know, I was like, that was not a good idea. But yeah, I'm just like upset. I gotta find someone to do the whole thing with me because my friend came here and Jimmy, and he did skydiving. He showed me photos. I'm like, Jimmy, I didn't know you went skydiving. Why don't you tell me? So I'm like, oh, now I got to do it by myself now. I don't want to do it by myself. It's not really fun, you know. So I gotta go with somebody, and you got to enjoy with the right type of person, not someone who's going to be like scared and timid the entire way. You know what I mean? You gotta be with somebody who's really, really cool and is going to enjoy it as much as you're going to enjoy it. You know what I mean? So I got to find the right person to do that. I hope I can do it soon because I'm gonna get busy with work. I know it, you know. What was my? I digress again. Oh, look what came in the mail. I thought I would ready to ship. What is that? So I got me some Kemetic Oracle cards. You know, can you see that? Kemetic Oracle cards. Kemetic Oracle cards. Yes. Can you see the hieroglyphics there? Let me just see if I can. This will be like an unboxing video. I'm going to unbox it while we're waiting for people to join us on this live session. YouTube is funny. It doesn't notify people sometimes. You know what I mean? Yeah, the Kemetic Tarot. The Kemetic Tarot. It would be funny if I cut my neck while we're doing this broadcast. That'd be kind of sick. I would think I would be like, oh, that's kind of cool. I cut my neck, get all blood. Wow. Oh, I could use this bluff the ritual. That's what my thinking probably would be. Nuke Amun Hetep. Nuke Amun Hetep. Nuke Amun Hetep. Nefer. Ra. Ooh. Okay, hold on a second. If you want to, should be interesting. Oh, we're going to be talking about Maat. And I'm a sucker for any cards that have Maat on them. If I see a card, you know, I collect the different tarot decks. If I see there's a Maat card on it, I'll be like, I'll buy it. As long as it's got Maat, I'll buy it. So it looks like this. What is that? Wouldn't it be funny if a like squirrel jumped out or never mind. All right. Okay. Let's just put the card in here. And this is the Kemetic Tarot book. Don't need that. Just kidding. All right. So we put the oh, look at that. It's got the engraving on the back. Put it in here. Whoop, and there we go. Ready to go. I'm going to put some herbs and powders and stuff in there to magically charge it. Got these cards from this woman I know. She came out with her own tarot deck. It's all nude, though. I can't show you. It's all nude pictures. It's kind of cool, though. But I'm like, I don't know what the energy is like when I'm going through this deck. These nude pictures are on here, you know. Oh, let me show you what that is. It's a Sphinx. And yeah, it's a Sphinx. Remember with 3D? Ooh, 3D. I'm in a silly mood, so give me a second here. Oh, wow. There's no plastic. Usually when you take them out, there's like plastic. That's weird. Why is there no plastic? How many cards are there? Is there any cards missing? Okay, so in the back, you have this gold. This is Annie, from the Papyrus of Annie in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. This is Osset, Isis, Osset. Ooh, one of my favorite girls here is Nebhet. Nebhet. It's my first time going through this, so Nebhet. She's the wife of Set. This is Mut. Mut means mother. Mut. Ooh, hey, nice. Amun Ra. All right, Amun Ra. Oh, here's my father. Tehuti. Fa. Hermes. Oh, I got more than one card. That's interesting. This is Osset and Osir. Osset and Osir. I got a complaint about that, but I won't go into it. A big complaint. But that's okay. Deatet. Ooh, my girl, Sekhmet. Nun. Waters of Nun. Shai and Renette. Amit. And he comes from the underworld. He'll devour your soul. Amit. See in there. The Sphinx. Apu, sometimes referred to as Sebek. And there she is. We've been waiting for you. The goddess Maat. Maat. Here's Set. Evil Set. We need Set, though. That's very important. I should speak about that because we can't get rid of Set. That's because, in the book of the, in the story of Osiris and Set, and you should read it from Wallace's Budge book. He has a 2-part series on the Osiris religion. You'll see that Heru did not kill Set. He knew Set was important. Even after Set did all kinds of terrible things in Kemet. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go into a little bit about the importance of keeping that balance. Just going through here. Yeah, this is interesting. 10 of Scarabs. The one thing to note here that's really cool, and I have some problems with some of the deck, but anyway, is that you see it has dark-skinned people, which is good. That's important because that's what the Egyptians look like, It's funny because I was reading a post by some guy saying that the Egyptians were white. And I said, well, you're just going to ignore the hieroglyphics, which show them as dark-skinned people. It doesn't show them as tan people. It shows them as dark-skinned people. So you're just going to ignore that and just say they're white people. That's an issue. That's cognitive dissonance, I'm looking for... This is interesting. Okay. We'll do a reading. I'll do a reading with this. Not right now. But I do like the way it's got the deities. But, yeah. So, like, I guess instead of pentacles, it has scarabs. You know what I mean? Which is Kepra. And then it has Ankhs. 8 of Ankhs. 8 of Swords. They do still have the swords. They still have scepters. Why they just do scepters or something? I don't know. But anyway, Scarabs. Oh, they do have. Oh, sorry, they do have scepters. Seven of scepters. Seven of scepters. Yeah. All right. So they do have the scepters, and six of scepters, six of ankhs, six of scarabs, five of scepters. Well, I'm trying to figure out what they're using for the cups. What is it? Two of scepters. What is the cups though? Is the cups, because they have the major arcana, but the minor arcana should have something for cups, unless they're using that the cups for the ankhs for the cups. So I'll have to go through this because I do see swords, scepters. It's weird. Why would you have swords and scepters? But anyway, scarabs. So they must be using the ankhs as like the cups, I believe. Anyway, I digress. Sorry about that. I'm derailing things. Just to let more people come into the live stream so we can get on to today's message. When we have to understand something. What was my topic for today? Oh, we have to understand that the world is imbalanced. All right, and that's because we have the ruling elite that has taken control of the planet and put the world in imbalance. And they have taught and educated white people to believe that they are superior and that their left brain thinking is superior. And they have taught and educated black people and people of color, including Indian, Asian, that their way of thinking, right brain, is wrong. And they've done this because they know that high technology and high culture came from right brain thinking, which is integrated brain thinking. It integrates both the left and the right hemisphere of the brain. This is the focus on the left brain, which is Sebek, in lieu of the right brain, integrated brain thinking, which is kind of like Maat, is what has caused so many problems in the world and the origin of racism and sexism. You understand? Racism and sexism come out of the idea of focusing on the left brain. When you are teaching a planet, when you're teaching the global community to think and only in terms of the left brain, then you put that culture, you put that society, you put that population into the dark ages. Our ancestors were brilliant in the way of building the pyramids and doing all kinds of technological wonders and moral wonders because they were morally upright, is because they were integrated brain thinkers. They thought with both the left and the right hemisphere of the brain. This is balance. This is why Ma'at is about balance, harmony. When you are only thinking through the left brain, you're out of balance. We have a whole judicial system and a legal system that is predicated upon just left brain thinking. There's no morality because morality is the right brain. Morality is Ma'at. Morality is more of the female principle than the male principle. Do you understand that? It's not misandry to say that the moral aspects come out of the right brain and the female principle. Now, I want you to understand something here that's important. The right brain is where we get rituals, where we get morality, where we get a holistic view of life, meaning we understand death, we understand life just as much. But when you only predicate upon the left brain, you understand life, but you don't understand death. So you don't believe in reincarnation. You believe God is outside of you. You don't believe that God is inside of you. And I want to take, I want you to understand something here, because I came across a situation early last week that I have to deal with from a legal perspective. I told you all that I was retiring from digital project management, right? So because of that, many companies have been contacting me, wanting me to do one last job, and they've been competing against each other to bring me aboard. And I've gotten several offers. And I took one that I thought would be kind of cool to do the job, not necessarily that it paid the most. I wanted to go out having fun. I'm working with someone who I'm training to be a digital project manager. So I'm working with them, and they've done a round of interviews. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about in terms of digital project management, then please go check out my website, which is the Six Figure PM. Here we go. This is the Six Figure PM. Please check that out. If you're interested in a six-figure income, please go and sign up. The cost for the training is really inexpensive compared to other programs that will cost you $10,000, $15,000 and they won't guarantee you a six-figure income. So this is very, very inexpensive. So and there's many benefits. That's our early bird special, which is ending in 2 days. All right. So and there are a lot of other perks and bonuses that we give you, like we help you with getting a job. You're going to work with recruiters that are going to have connections to these major ad agencies and companies. So I'm working with someone, and they're doing their round of interviews. I set them up on a round of interviews, and I was coaching them on accepting the right amount of money, when to start, how long your contract to be. So lo and behold, there was one really good ad agency that the recruiter called and said, Qesankh, the student that you're working with, we have something at this one. Oh, no, was that one? No, this is one I got on my own. I actually researched this, called up the company and asked them if they would do this interview because I have a good project manager, and they agreed. Now, I didn't look through their website thoroughly. And I set the interview up for my student. And I did the reading and really wasn't paying attention when I did the reading. I forgot what it was, something in the way of Amen and Hedaru. I remember driving, and you ever have something hit you out of nowhere? And Amen Hedaru hit me, and I almost was like, I think it was Amen, I'm not sure. I stopped and I said, that's racism. So I went back to take a look and peruse their website again, and lo and behold, there was not one person of color on their staff, because they have pictures of the entire agency, and there's not one person of color. So my student did the interview, and he thought he aced it. And I was there, I was watching him. I said, you did ace the interview. And I said, but they're not going to call back. And lo and behold, a couple of weeks passed so far, and they haven't called. Almost a week and a half, and they haven't called. That's unusual, right? So he was like, well, what happened? I said, well, it's the company is actually it's a racist company. Now I'm bringing this up to let you know how out of balance certain white people are. Now, because my students in the program already, the six-figure PM, I was like, no, we're not going to have this. Now, you may, if you were in any other program, you would be left on your own. So I quickly picked up my phone and called my attorney, because we have an attorney that we work with. I said, okay, this company is violating federal law. How should we proceed? And my attorney says, okay, this is how we're going to do it. Because I'm putting that company on notice that I know what you did and I know what you're doing. You're not going to keep going discriminating against people of color in this country. You're out of balance. You see, they have been taught that the only thing to look at is color. And Maat is a form-function relationship. That means everything serves a purpose for the function of the whole. And when you start to exclude people then you are not operating in balance. And the universe cannot be upheld if you are operating out of balance. There's only one or two things that's going to happen. Either the universe is going to fall apart, and that's not going to happen, or the universe is going to phase you out for being out of balance. So this company is out of balance, as most with a lot of people, white people in this country, especially the police force. You see, the white Americans have been taught by the ruling elite, the oligarchy, that you should look at color. But when I was a recruiter and I started out doing recruiting, the one thing that I did and why I was so successful as a recruiter is when you would call and say, "Can I come in and fill out an application?" Well, you sure can. But I had a job waiting for you even before you came in because I didn't look at color. I went to do an astrological chart on you. I said, this person's a Gemini. They would be good as a messenger. They have Mercury in their planetary chart. I would do the chart and find out that this person had Jupiter in their chart. I said, wow, Jupiter is expansive. Putting them in a financial institution would be good because that deals with money. And also I'm not going to go too deep into this, but I also said they are multitaskers because Jupiter is expansive and they have Maat in their chart. And Maat is looking at the whole. This person comes along and I saw in their chart, they had Haru, Mars. I said they would be a good office manager, mid-level manager. This person had Osair. I said they could be a CEO. I'm not looking at color. I'm looking at the qualities that they possess. And it's no difference than you have police experts who can put together a psychological profile of a serial killer without ever even meeting the serial killer, just based on picking up the evidence in the crime scene. I can do readings and astrological charts on you and tell you what you're good at and tell you what you're weak at. I knew for me, when the priestess said, Maat is in your destiny, I said, that means I have problems with details. That means I have left brain issues, Sebek issues. And I know I have. So I worked with mantras to balance that out and to bring harmony. But you see these psychopathic white people who come along and want to rid the world of a certain color. And when you prevent somebody from gainful employment, you're hurting their very existence. You're not only legally out of balance, but you're out of balance with Ma'at, which is universal law, not man's law. So I said, being in the Ma'at clan, I said to the attorney who I've worked with for over 15 years, no, I'm taking action against this company. And I haven't done it. Excuse me. And I've done it so many times before. I know the legal process. I used to get lawyers for people who wanted to file lawsuits against certain corporations. I would teach them how to file a complaint with the EEOC first, because that's a prerequisite, and then how to find a good attorney that you don't have to pay for, because the system is cost prohibitive. It's set up so you can't pay an attorney to take it to trial because it's so expensive. And the corporations know this, so they string the lawsuit out for years. I was in one lawsuit, took me 10 years to get it to court. And finally, well, I'm not going to go, I can't go into the details of it, but. And yet another young woman I helped, I got her attorney. And, it's so this is nothing new to me. I'm not afraid. In fact, I enjoy it because I'm doing God's work. So the student was a little nervous. I said, don't worry about it. I got you. This company's going to be put on notice that we know what they're doing. And that's rare for this field, to be honest with you, because this field needs more diversity. But it was interesting what they tried to pull, which is giving you the first interview, but they didn't want to give you the second interview, even though that I coached this person on the right things to say. So they were on point. You see, the problem is not with the masses of white people that you meet on a daily basis. They are just as screwed up as the masses of black people you meet. The problem is with the ruling elite, which has put out this propaganda, which has entrapped the planet in left brain thinking. It has screwed up black people and white people alike. Now, that doesn't mean that white people should not be called to task and justice served against them for what the crimes that they have done. They most certainly should, because you still know right from wrong. Okay? You can't make that excuse. Oh, the ruling elite brainwashed me. I don't know what I was doing. No, you don't. You know what you're doing. We have not advanced in this society morally enough to understand that people come with certain attributes that are beneficial to your company that goes beyond phenotype. We have not evolved to that level yet because of the stupidity, the ignorance, the satanic evil of the ruling elite. They are racist as hell, destructive as hell. And they want desperately to rid this planet of most people of color. That's their goal. You think you're advancing, though. This is what kills me. So what? You got a verdict of George Floyd. So what? You're not. That is infinitesimal. You still have like a long way to go. It's like climbing Mount Everest or Olympus Mons on Mars. You guys, if you guys don't know Olympus Mons on Mars, you better research that. You have a hell of a way to go. You see, the ruling elite is very conniving and slick. They make you think that you are getting some headway. Just as if they come up with this idea of diversity, Black Lives Matter, when really it's pushing a depopulation agenda. But you don't see it because it's a Trojan horse, and I'm not going to get into it. Let us now get a little bit more information on the goddess Maat, my mother. We're going to watch a video real quick, and I know that YouTube's going to ding me for it, give me well, we'll see what happens. But I want us to check this out. It's very informative, and it's on my mother. So let's check it out, shall we?
Maat is a concept that symbolizes the ancient Egyptian ideas about balance, harmony, morality, law, order, truth and justice. Maat also took the form of a goddess who personified these essential concepts. The goddess also governed the seasons and the stars. Ancient Egyptians also believed the goddess exerted an influence over those deities who collaborated to impose order on chaos at the precise moment of primal creation. Maat's divine opposite was Fit, the goddess of chaos, violence, evil-doing and injustice. Maat initially appeared during Egypt's Old Kingdom, c. 2613 to 2181 BCE, period. However, she is believed to have been worshipped well before this in an earlier form. Maat is shown in her anthropomorphic form of a winged woman, wearing an ostrich feather on her head. Alternatively, a simple white ostrich feather symbolizes her. Maat's feather played a central role in the Egyptian concept of the afterlife. The ceremony of the weighing of the heart of the soul, when the deceased's heart of the soul was weighed against the feather of truth on the scales of justice, determined the soul's fate. Facts about Maat. Maat lies at the heart of ancient Egypt's social and religious ideals. It symbolized harmony and balance, truth and justice, law and order. Maat was also the name given to the ancient Egyptian goddess who personified these concepts and oversaw the stars as well as the season. The ancient Egyptians believed the goddess Maat influenced the primal deities who joined forces to impose order on the tumultuous chaos at the instant of creation. Maat was opposed in her work by Pharaoh, the goddess governing violence, chaos, injustice, and evil. Eventually, the Ra, the king of the gods, absorbed Maat's role at the heart of all creation. Egypt's pharaohs styled themselves as the lords of Maat. Origin and significance. Ra, or Atum, the sun god, was believed to have created Maat at the moment of creation when Nun's primordial waters parted and the Ben, or first dry mound of land, rose with Ra astride it, thanks to Heka's invisible magical power. In the instant Ra spoke the world into being, Maat was birthed. Maat's name is translated as that which is straight. This connotes harmony, order, and justice. Maat's principles of balance and harmony suffused this act of creation, causing the world to function rationally and with purpose. The concept of Maat underpinned the functioning of life, while Heka, or magic, was the source of its power. This is why Maat is seen as more conceptual than a conventional goddess, complete with a clearly defined personality and backstory such as Hathor or Isis. Maat's divine spirit underpinned all creation. If an ancient Egyptian lived in keeping with her principles, one would enjoy a full life and could hope to enjoy eternal peace after journeying through the afterlife. Conversely, if one refused to conform to Maat's principles, one would be condemned to suffer the ramifications of that decision. Her significance is shown by how the ancient Egyptians inscribed her name. While Maat was frequently identified by her feather motif, she was frequently associated with a plinth. A plinth was often set under the throne of a divine being but was not inscribed with the deity's name. Maat's association with a plinth suggested she was thought of as the foundation of Egyptian society. Her importance is clearly shown in iconography, positioning her at Ra's side on his heavenly barge as she voyaged with him during daytime across the sky while assisting him to defend their boat against attacks by the serpent god Apophis at night. Maat and the white feather of truth. Ancient Egyptians fervently believed each person was ultimately responsible for their own lives and that their lives should be lived in balance and harmony with the earth and other people. Just as the gods looked after humanity, so humans needed to adopt the same caring attitude for one another and the world the gods had provided. This concept of harmony and balance is found in all aspects of ancient Egyptian society and culture, from how they laid out their cities and homes, to the symmetry and balance found in the design of their sprawling temples and immense monuments. Living harmoniously in accordance with the will of the gods, equated to living according to the dictate of the goddess personifying the concept Maat. Eventually, everyone faced judgment in the afterlife's hall of truth. Ancient Egyptians thought of the human soul as comprising 9 parts. The physical body was the Khat. The Ka was a person's double form. Their Ba was a human-headed bird aspect capable of speeding between the heavens and earth. The shadow self was the Shuyat, while the Yak formed the deceased's immortal self, transformed by death. Sachumensu were both Ek forms. The heart was Ab, the wellspring of good and evil, and Dren was an individual's secret name. All 9 aspects were part of an Egyptian's earthly existence. After death, the Ek together with the Sachumensu appeared before Osiris, Thoth the god of wisdom, in the 42 judges in the hall of truth to have the deceased's heart or Ab weighed on a golden scale against Maat's white feather of truth. If the deceased's heart proved lighter than Maat's feather, the deceased remained as Osiris consulted Thoth and the 42 judges. If the deceased was adjudged to be worthy, the soul was granted the freedom to move on through the hall to continue its existence in paradise at the field of reeds. No one could escape this eternal judgment. In the Egyptian idea of the afterlife, Maat was believed to assist those who adhered to her principles during their life. Worshipping Maat as a divine goddess. While Maat was respected as an important goddess, the ancient Egyptians dedicated no temples to Maat. Nor did she have any official priests. Instead, a modest shrine was consecrated to her, and other gods' temples honored Maat. The single temple, recognized as having been built in her honor by Queen Hatshepsut, 1479 to 1458 BCE, was erected within the god Montu's temple grounds. Egyptians venerated their goddess by simply living their lives in observance to her tenets. Devotional gifts and offerings to her were placed on her shrine set in many temples. According to surviving records, the sole official veneration of Maat occurred when a newly crowned Egyptian king offered sacrifices to her. After being crowned, the new king would offer a representation of her to the gods. This act represented the king's request for her assistance in preserving the divine harmony and balance during his reign. Should a king fail to maintain the balance and harmony, it was a clear portent he was unfit to reign. Maat thus was crucial a king's successful rule. In the Egyptian pantheon of gods, Maat was a significant and universal presence, despite having no priestly cult or dedicated temple. The Egyptian gods were thought to live off Maat, and the majority of images showing the king offering Maat to Egypt's pantheon of gods upon his coronation were mirror images of those depicting the king presenting wine, food, and other sacrifices to the gods. The gods were thought to live off Maat as they were obliged by divine law to maintain balance and harmony and to encourage those specific values amongst their human worshippers. Maat's temples were set amidst other gods' temples due to Maat's role as a universal cosmic essence, which enabled the lives of both humans and their gods. Egyptians venerated the goddess Maat by living their lives in keeping with her principles of harmony, balance, order, and justice, and being considerate to their neighbors and the earth the gods gifted them to nurture. While goddesses such as Isis and Hathor proved more widely worshipped, and eventually absorbed several Maat's attributes, the goddess retained her significance as a deity right through Egypt's lengthy culture and defined much the country's core cultural values for centuries. Reflecting on the past, anyone looking to understand ancient Egyptian culture must first understand Maat and the role its core concept of balance and harmony played in shaping Egypt's belief system.
So I want you to think about something. I'm going to pose this question to you and really give it some considerable thought. So we know that Maat was in Kemet, or Egypt, from the very, very beginning. And that there are no temples and shrines, only the one that was built by Hatshepsut. The queen king is what she was, Hatshepsut. And that's when she ruled, Egypt thrived. It was at its height. So let me ask you a question, then. When we go to most cultures, India, there's the Bhagavad Gita. Arabs celebrate the Quran. Christians, the King James Version of the Bible. The Jews, the Torah. Why is it that when we go into Egypt, and Maat was so important to the Egyptians, that there is no book on Maat? There is not one book on Maat, or Maat's laws, or Maat's way of life. Because the Egyptians believed in learning through osmosis. You learn by living it. Maat says to understand truth, you must live it. You must live life. There is no book to explain to you the things that you should be doing. Maat is the living of truth, not the dogma or commandments of truth. Maat and her mate Tahuti, you intuit wisdom and knowledge. You don't get it from a book. So the Egyptians practiced a spiritual cultivation system where wisdom and knowledge would be brought to you, and not that you would conform to the edicts of a book written by some type of prophet or holy man. You understand what I'm saying? So the ancient Kemetic people understood something very, very deep about truth. That it's not something to be written down or followed. I remember seeing a Muslim woman, and she was talking about 9/11 in this program. And she was said, in the Quran, it teaches us Muslims to do right by other religions. And I found her statement so disturbing. Disturbing from a perspective of what she said, and disturbing from a perspective of what is written. You see, Maat and God respects you. God knows you already know right and wrong. God gives you no extra credit to get into heaven based on doing right by others. That's an external thing. You know, you see, like sometimes you have these people who are wealthy, they go and flaunt and give money to the poor, and they film them doing it. That's because it's only for them. It's not for those poor people. They want to feel good by giving that money away. So in reality, it's not a good thing. You see, me treating my neighbor as if he would treat me, there's no credit for that. There's no extra credit for that. You should be doing that. As the joke goes, you know, it says a father brags about, I take care of my kids. What are you bragging about? You should take care of your kids. You get no special treatment or accolades for that. I had breakfast this morning. What, you want an applause? You should be having breakfast. I went to work today. You're supposed to go to work. You see, Ma'at is the living of truth based on a relational understanding of your situation. This is why when you go to the oracle, you get a destiny reading that tells you what your destiny is. And then you must live in accordance with that destiny. And because the oracle reveals your destiny, there is no scriptures, there's no psalms for you to follow or repeat in memory. So when the Muslim woman said, the Quran tells us, I don't need the Quran to tell me to respect other religions. What kind of nonsense is that? I don't need the Bible to tell me not to sleep with my neighbor's wife. I know that's wrong. What would the Bible, why is it treating me like a child, telling me something that is obvious? Thou shalt not kill. I know that. That's wrong. Did Moses kill one of Pharaoh's people? And then they were going to arrest Moses for killing one of Pharaoh's people prior to the Ten Commandments being written. So obviously they knew killing was wrong. You didn't need a Ten Commandment to tell you that. But we're in a stupor state to where we're buying into this nonsense. Treated like children, treated ignorant. I need a spirituality that will teach me how to uplift my spirit to the level of godliness. Not to tell me to do basic right and wrong things. Do you understand? And that's what Maat is about. It's a way of living. that's specific to your situation, contextual, to guide you, to balance your life. Maat says, don't eat late at night. It's not healthy for you. That's a Maat thing. Maat would say, don't go 2 days without sleeping. You'll be imbalanced. Do you understand? Because Maat is being imbalanced or in tune with the universe. Maat says, don't put animals in zoos and cages. That's not respecting them as living beings. You drive them crazy because they're used to roaming the jungle. So I want you to understand what Maat really is about. Not scriptures, not psalms, not edicts, but it's a way of being in alignment with the universe. That's what Maat is about. And people get confused and they try to equate, those especially who want to study Kemet, the negative 42 confessions to something similar with the Christian Bible or the Quran. The ancient Egyptians didn't have anything like that, because they understood that those writing things like that down personifies ignorance. You're a god. I don't need to tell you these very, very fundamental things. But what I do need to do is to remind you that you're God and teach you how to get back to your godly state. This is Qesankh Maat Keperu, son of Maat and Tahuti. Maat is the beautiful goddess Heteru. Until my next video, Amen Ra.